Right now we need, what we did, we crowned the tops of these frets, but they need to be polished and dressed. But the first thing we have to do is address the ends of the frets. We beveled them, but they still have, like, the corners and the edges are still really sharp. So I have a 3-corner file here that I've made safe. And what we're going to do, which means that I ground the edge of it smooth so it won't cut. And so it won't, you know, cut against the fretboard. What we're going to do, we're going to round these the tops of these frets, or the tops of the ends of these frets rather. So that they're nice and smooth. And we don't have any sharp edges. Once I get frets polished, then I'll go back over this fretboard and with a razor blade and get all of that super glue residue off of the fretboard. Alright, we've got the ends beveled, the beveled ends dressed so that they don't grab our fingers or anything like that. And what we want to do, we recrown these frets, but I'm going to take some 600 grit sandpaper, and a lot of people wrap this paper around like some kind of rounded form, maybe a rubber backing that's used in auto body repair, or I've seen people use things like magic markers and stuff like that. The best thing I ever found for this is the round part of my finger. And what we're doing, we're going to go along here like this, and any flat that's left on this after we crowned it, because this is round, it'll roll over top of these frets, and it will round it off. The rest of the way. And this is what we want to do. We want it as round as we can get it, as crowned as well as we can. Now I would normally start with like 400 grit, but I don't have any 400 grit sandpaper right now. So this is what I'm using. Okay, that looks to be probably round enough. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way, because I want to try to take the scratches out. And the thing of it is you want these frets crowned because the string, when you press it down, needs to break over the center of that fret slot, because that's the scaling of the instrument. That's the way the scale is laid out. So you want it as precise as you can get it. Now, I'm going to get these beveled edges. A lot of people obsess over, and I kind of do when I'm building, because I want the best that I can do, okay? But they obsess over minute details. Like it's popular now to go on like YouTube channels where people are doing repair work and they're leveling the frets like this, or they're setting intonation like this. In other words, with it laid on the bench, and oh, you gotta use it, you gotta do it in playing position. Listen, no matter how you cut it, you can flex this neck in while you're playing and not even know it. Also, depending on how much pressure you use when you fret a note, you can make it sharp. Okay, you can pull it sharp. There's all kinds of variables that go into playing an instrument that can make an instrument not quite be in tune. So the difference between doing things like this or doing things like that, that's a pipe dream, because it doesn't matter. When the player gets on the instrument and starts playing, depending on his style, all that flipping stuff is going out the window. It's something that a luthier house invented, and I ain't naming no names, but they invented like a $250 net jig, okay? And it's something they do to sell that net jig, but it means absolutely nothing, honestly. I mean, if you're a builder or a repair person or whatever and think it does, more power to you, but no, it really doesn't. Lovely. Lovely. Alright, I've gone through successive sandpaper grits from 600 to 1500. Now I'm going to go 2000 grit. polish the board with steel wool. I could go over the frets with the steel wool, but I have no clue whether the steel wool is finer than the 2000 grit paper, and I have got a really nice polish on these frets. So I'm going to stop there. And that's all for now. Bless you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And follow along as we continue on this build. Later.